Are you who you need you to be right now? How are you taking care of your soul? Are you attracting or rejecting the things that weigh you down? What do you need to feel complete? To be complete? Are the struggles that you're facing attributing to you building strength or just a signal at your own misdirection? Where are you going? Are you listening? Can your soul survive? Can your soul thrive in the way that you're living right now? The quality of the questions that we ask ourselves determine the quality of the experience we create for ourselves. And I think you need answers. I think you need a soul talk.
You've been in bigger moments than most basketball players in their careers. So do you think the zone exists? Like, do you think it's a real place? And like, when you've been there, like what have you experienced? Like, what was it like for you?
That's a great question. Yeah, of course I've been in the zone. Uh, I mean, it's a quiet place. Most people think like like it's fast, but it's really not. It's just a conversation that you're having with yourself, and nobody is around, so nobody matters, and that's why they call it the zone, because you really mentally get to that place, and it's it's a sacred place. You know, it's not a place where like any and everybody can tap into, but when you have that ability to do it, I think you should use that gift. And I know players that been in the zone in a lot of situations because I know what it feels like. Um, and I don't know. I think it's cool to be in the zone in basketball, but the real question is being in the zone in real life. And for me, it's just being aware of what's around you. It's having faith. Um, it is being still, patience, and yeah. I mean, I think it's the right path. I think it's the right place to be. You know, because I don't see anything negative happening from being in the zone.
Mm.
You know, that means that you're highly in tune, you're highly focused, you're self-aware. And self-awareness is the most important thing, because when you're self-aware, that means first you're self-assured. And when you're self-assured, nothing can shake that, you know, because you're confident within yourself. And that's really being in the zone, you know, because this is a cruel world that we live in, you know, and everybody's hungry for success, or what that thing is success is. No, honestly, I think that's what really being in the zone is all about. Tapping into your higher self.
We're talking about the power of the mind and ways to calm the mind and whatnot, but you know, you and I, we're believers, so we believe in the soul as well. And for me, the soul is connected. The elements of the soul are connected to elements of the mind, right? If your soul's not right, it's probably something with your mind. If your mind's not right, probably something up with the soul. I just feel like they're connected. So like, what do you feel about that? Like that connection between like soul and mind?
I think those two things are the two most powerful things that we have as humans. You know, I think it's just like a connectedness. Like if you're if your inside is trash, that's all you're gonna think about is trash. That's it. And so you're gonna be influenced by it. So when you hear it, you're gonna want to be a part of it because mediocrity loves company. You feel me? But the real important thing is to have your inside right. Because when you're inside right, nothing can steer you away mentally. Nothing can take you off that path. And I think it's important to any level of success that you want to attain, because nobody's going to want to deal with trash. People that are successful are very strategic. They plan really well, and they know their surroundings. So it's important that your inside is in check first, so mentally you can be there to sit at them tables, because it's important, it's valuable.
I know you were heavily influenced by Michael, like just like I was. But you were, I mean, you were so close to it. Obviously, being from Chicago, like, wearing 23, like, I know how much you were into Michael. So, but the thing is, Cap, like, you're in the rare air, of players just like Michael that really had dominant stretches. Like, you dominated the game as you were playing. Like, what kind of focus did it take? Like, what kind of things did you have to really tap into and do to dominate?
I mean, my faith has always been my foundation. Like I believe in Allah, I believe in a higher power. I do. And so, like, that's always been my foundation. Aside from that, I've always just been focused on the game. The game of basketball has really, like, given me an opportunity to do things that I never dreamed or imagined. So, like, for me, I don't know, like, I'm humbled by it, but at the same time, I always feel something bigger, and that's just what I'm really trying to tap into right now. I think that's the most important thing. It's just to keep moving forward, because the game is special, but at the same time, life is still going. The game follows you because it gives you back whatever you gave to it. That's just what it is. But I think what's important is just to keep, like I said, moving forward, but at the same time, being self-aware.
So now your mind is full of energy because you were listening to your soul talk. And what you were hearing is you're probably seeing yourself successful. But in order to be successful, use the energy of your mind that you're focusing and speak it into existence. You have to believe it first. And when you believe it, you can see it, even though you're not there yet. So to get there, use that mindful energy that you're focusing on and speak your dreams or goals into existence with the help of that energy that you're focusing on. Allow your soul to talk. And then you speak it to existence, what you listen to.
In some of those, like, moments where you had, like, some of your best games, when you think back, like, what did it take to, like, get you into that space?
I was just focused. Like, I didn't let nothing stop me from getting in that space, because I thought, like, basketball was just sacred, I thought it was just like, it was like a safe haven. It was a way to escape everything. Even as basketball players or sports figures or entertainers, like, we all go through, we all go through things, you know what I'm saying? But even though that's not really shined on as much, it's just like, I think people kind of lose focus on it. And at the end of the day, like, even though we may go through something, we still able to overcome. And I think that's important, because being able to overcome something is really a true form of strength. And basketball is cool, like, basketball is cool, but it's not everything to me right now, so I want people to understand the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, basketball is special, but it's not who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's what you do, what you love to do. One of the many things that you love to do. I think that's important to know and distinguish from the very beginning, because the relationships that you have from basketball are only because of the common thing, which is basketball. You know what I'm saying? But it's important to keep those relationships.
Right.
Those are valuable, you know? But when you're playing basketball, you really don't think about that part, you know?
True. True.
But it's really the key to life.
What kind of experiences have you had with meditating? I've never really known if you've been on that before, like if you've meditated for real. Maybe in your own way or whatever the case, but
I mean, I've never practiced in meditation, but I definitely meditate. I mean, I think it's just a conscious thing that you do as a human. You know, that's a practice that's been happening for ages. You know, I mean, but there's levels to it, obviously. And like I said, I've never practiced, but I think whatever suits your soul is the most important thing. Because, like for me, like I converted to Islam, right? And the way that we're expected to pray is a form of meditation. It really is.
Yeah.
I think about it, I'm like, dang, I do yoga. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same. It's almost the same concept. So I think whatever it is you choose, whatever takes you to that higher source, I think is important. It's valuable. You know, I don't judge people for what they do or what they practice in, you know, because I feel like we all have the right to do that. That's our choice as humans.
what are some give me like any examples or like experiences you've had that have kind of like showed you the power of the mind. Anything that like kind of like that as an example of just ways that lets you know like man that the mind is really like that powerful.
When I won my first championship, like I said it. I said, we're about to win this championship. Before we played in the playoffs, I said that we're about to win. I remember one of my teammates looking at me like I was crazy.
Really? Like, I mean, this Phoenix, right? In Phoenix? You're talking about your first ring in Phoenix?
Like, nah, it's not going to happen.
It couldn't have been that crazy. Y'all were, I mean.
But I was young talking like this, you know?
I got you. Okay.
As a second year player. Like,
I feel you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and you talking about like, yo, we about to win this whole thing. Like, they like, yo, like, calm down. Like, we, like.
I was so serious. I was so serious. I was sure of it.
I mean, I felt like y'all were gonna win too. Just knowing what y'all had and you know where you were at the time. I mean, I felt y'all were the best team. So
I didn't win a championship in college, so that feel like I won Big East championships, but like the national championship, I never experienced that to know what it feels like, you know. So when I experienced it, it was like, whoa, like that's different, you know, like that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt complete. I'm not gonna even lie. I did, but I know it wasn't me. It was my faith. You know what I'm saying? Like I could credit myself all I want, or go back and be like, oh yeah, this or that happened, or this and that. But at the end of the day, like I discredit myself for real if I didn't say my faith.
Once you are able to tap into the zone, you are able to be successful in whatever you do, and you will find that you'll be able to do things like accomplish things easier than without the practice of meditation. And why is that? It's because when you practice meditation, your mind will be more focused on the present moment. You have less thought about the past. You have less worry about the future.
how would you approach young players about, you know, just like mindfulness in general, but just the idea of like taking, you know, the elements of their mind, the kind of stuff we're talking about, like really taking that seriously?
I mean, I know this is a sensitive time for a lot of us. Mm-hmm. And I know some of us are feeling like we can't make it or we can't go on. I know a lot of us are mentally like frustrated or angry or dealing with all kind of things that they never had to deal with because they're in the house. So I'm very empathetic about that right now. And I think from my heart is the only place that I can come, and that's just being honest. You know, I think honesty is key. And, you know, it's a really sensitive time. Like I lost somebody from COVID, you know, and to see the effect that it has on the family is like, is like crazy to me. And I don't know, I just want to make sure everybody is good at the end of the day. So, you know, I'm just going to be honest about it. Like, the game of basketball is very important, right? Because it gives you so many opportunities on and off the court. But you have to have a plan B. You have to have other resources, you know, because at the end of the day, the ball is going to stop bouncing. It happens time and time again. History repeats itself. And so when it stops bouncing, you have to have something to fall back on. I think that's the true key to success, you know? So if I can tell you anything, it's just to continue to dream, because dreams never die, no matter what age you are. And I would tell you to have fun, because we now know what not having fun feels like with our friends and our close family members, you know? So just have fun. And whatever it is that you want to do, I'm saying it first, like, you can really do it, you know, because what we are in this time, you know, like, I think about, like, where we come from when we first arrived here in America to where we are now, like, and looking at our history, like, we overcome a lot. So we have opportunity to be whatever it is that we want to be. But I know it's hard to, like, tell your friends no. I know it's hard to miss this party or don't go to the mall at this time. I get it. I feel your pain, but look, at the end of the day, we all got to sacrifice something for something greater. And if you choose to do something that you say you really love, like, you have to go after it with everything that you have, because you're going to have moments where you got to sacrifice. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with it. And then know it's going to work out at the end of the day, because that's how it is when you sacrifice. I know how hard it is to overcome something, and I overcame something that I never thought that I would have to in my career. That's being waived at the end of my career and then not being picked up by a team. So that was a lot of pain for me, you know, but going through the system and understanding the business of it, like, I get it. And that's why I knew it was time for me to walk away. But I'm okay with that, though, because I know it's something bigger, you know, and that's it. That's really it. You gotta be able to move forward. And I think I've been really horning in on really, like, having patience with myself as I'm transitioning, having patience with other people as I'm transitioning, because it's easy to get caught up with, like, social media and the things that are constantly on our feeds. The real power and knowledge is our history, and really knowing it and getting after it, understanding who we are as people, and knowing yourself while knowing where we come from, you know? I think that's the true knowledge and power. God is good, you know, and he's controlling and telling us what we need to do. All we got to do is pay attention to the signs, whether it be birds, because they sure are talking a lot.
Oh, I hear them working. I hear them over there. They talking too. They getting that soul talking too. Yeah, I heard them the whole time, right in tune. Like, good chirps. Yeah. I really appreciate you sharing that, but I'll say, like, one of the main things I'm grateful for basketball is it's not about, like, knowing Cappie Pondexter the player. Like you already know how, like you're my family, bro. Like, you from trying to teach me how to drive that car when I almost crashed and killed all of us, to when you wrote me that note before you left for the draft, bro, which I still have. Like you're a big part of my path, bro, always. Like, that, you already know that. But that's one of the biggest reasons I'm grateful for the game, is for people like you who were placed in my path to help me become, you know, who I'm meant to be. So, like, seriously, like, thank you. Like, you already know, yo. Big love for you always, sis.
I do my best, you know. That's all that I can do. Yeah, I'm here. Just let me know.